the creation of the Dragon Ball multiverse has been revealed. But there might have been some cool context clues and subtle things that you missed, and that is the topic of today's video. So the Super Majin Rymus is the talk of the town. Everybody's super excited to learn about this character. The yin to Zeno's yang, the creation god to Zeno's destruction. But there are some subtle things that are said about Rymus that people are kind of looking over. Now, one of the subtle things that people miss is the fact that the good Demon King ordered Rymus to create the universes, and guess what? Rymus listened. Now, if you've been watching my channel, I've been talking about the difference between black and white magic, and the reason that this is important is because Rymus should not create the universes selfishly, because if he did, he would be implementing black magic to do so. So the good Demon King is sort of being used as a scapegoat in that sense for Rymus to implement white magic to create the new universes rather than black magic. Now, until very, very recently, the mortal realm has just been the demon realm. Prior to very, very recently, Abra, the father of Dabura, who was the most recent ruler of the demon realm, the mortal realm was no different than the three realms that they travel between using warp. It was just an extension of the demon realm that they had created in order to create more Majin and expand the territory of the demon realm. So prior to Abra pulling out of this realm and abandoning it, the mortal realm was just the new demon realm, and that's very, very important, and we'll get to that here in a few minutes. Now, if you've been watching my channel, I've been talking about how one of the defining differentiating factors between the mortal universe and the demon realm is the existence of chi, and that chi is a side effect of spiritual cultivation, and that white magic was a combination of a character experiencing spiritual cultivation as well as implementing magic. So the reason the good Demon King is likely considered good is because he likely went through a process of spiritual cultivation himself, which would explain why he looks so different from Abra or Dabura. And that would also explain why the Super Majin Rymus is so powerful, because he may have likely went through a process of spiritual development himself, which would be very appropriate if that process of spiritual development reflected the creation of the universes themselves. Now, one thing that I've seen people be confused about is how Zeno and Rymus complement each other and what their relationship is. Now, something I want you to consider is that it has been specifically shown and stated to us by Whis, and outwardly shown to us in like a very blatant way, that Zeno and the angels exist in a realm above the mortal realm. And they likely existed in this realm prior to the expansion of the demon realm. Now, that does not mean that the realm that the angels and Zeno came from did not at some point in the past through a very, very similar process of spiritual development, and may have been something similar to the demon realm a long time ago. There's nothing saying that that's not the case. But when you consider that the angels are born gods in comparison to the Glend, right? And that the Glend have to become gods over time, despite the fact that the angels and the Glend are very, very similar, they also are very, very different. And as much as we are being given by Toriyama, it's safe to say that prior to the Demon Realm's expansion, there were two realms. There was the Angel Realm and the Demon Realm. The Demon Realm, due to the existence of the good Demon King and the Super Majin Rymus, decided to try and expand their realm. And when they did that, the Upper Realm came in, and they were like, alright, well, if you guys are really interested in expanding life, and there seems to be good intentions in your goals, we will also be involved in helping you develop mortals in this new realm. So essentially, what happened was, Rymus met Zeno and the angels after the expansion. And Rymus, being the type of being who wanted to foster life and had a good heart, he's essentially a righteous demon. Because remember, Rymus is still a Majin. He is from the demon realm. He is just a super Majin. He is a super advanced Majin. Okay? So, he is a divine demon who has went through a process of spiritual cultivation, and that's something that Zeno himself can appreciate and see potential in, as well as the angels. So when they meet Rymus, they're like, okay, well, let's set up this system where we can work together to foster and create life in the universe, the new universes. And so that is why we see Zeno and Grand Priest and the angels all be so comfortable with the idea of the universes being erased because they live in a dimension above them, and they are essentially humbling Rymus and the demon realm by allowing them to try and develop more life. And what's very, very interesting about this is Rymus, like I pointed out before at the beginning of this video, likely did this with selfless intentions, whereas Zeno has made it very, very clear what he's looking for out of the mortal developmental process is someone like him, which does seem to suggest that Zeno went through a process of mortal development similar to what we are seeing happen in this slow climb from the demon realm to the mortal realm to the higher dimensions. So the angels and Zeno could be from an even older realm that have went through an even more ancient and long-term process of spiritual development, whereas the demon realm and what we are seeing happen in the new realm, the new demon realm, which would become the mortal realm, is just the same process that has played out before that has led to super hyper spiritual beings with godly like powers. Now, after this, it is specifically stated by Shin that the Saiyans and the humans were born after the new universe was created. And a lot of people have seemed to think that this basically kills the theory that the Saiyans are related to the Majin or have any demonic roots. And I'm here to tell you that if you actually paid attention and watched my video, what was stated here didn't change anything other than the location in which the Saiyans would evolve. Because remember, there was a point in time where the mortal realm was the demon realm, and the existence and the development of species was directly influenced by Majin. I have never once claimed that the Saiyans were the descendants of Majin. I have never once said that. I have always claimed that, like Sun Wukong, the Saiyans are a unique species that are created as a result of yin and yang, or the development of the Majin as well as the development of the higher dimensions. The dimensions that promote the idea of creating chi rather than using magic to develop life. And that is very, very likely still going to be the case. And there are some hints at this because, again, Abra closed off access to his realm due to fear of species that were developing in the mortal realm as a result of the new realm having influence from these higher spiritual beings. So, what likely happened here is during the short period of time prior to Abra's rule, the Saiyans were developed in an environment that is essentially very, very similar to the environments in which the Majin themselves are developed, due to the fact that likely at the time, because Abra is not that old and neither is Dabra, the mortal realm was still considered the demon realm, and the planet that they were born on and resided on was very, very similar to the demon realm in terms of the environment and how the Saiyans themselves would evolve and adapt. So what's likely happened here is the Saiyans are the perfect mix of the mortal developmental processes of the higher dimension as well as the Majin. And the humans are likely void of the type of environment or development that the demon realm has in their world, and that is the separating and differentiating factor between the Saiyans and the humans. So what likely happened is the Saiyans were raised and evolved in an environment that complemented the same environments in which the Majin were raised and cultivated, whereas the humans were raised and cultivated in an environment that more so suits the themes of the higher dimension, which is why we've always had this parallel between Saiyans and humans. We see this very strong in Gohan, where they have a demonic nature at one point. At another point, they are very, very spiritual and pacifistic and things of that nature. So Earthlings and the Earth has always been representative of this idea of spiritual awareness and higher moral ideas, whereas the Saiyans and Saiyan nature has always been associated with more demonic and destructive properties. So despite the fact that the Saiyans and the humans are similar, the process in which each species was created is likely very, very different. My argument in my original video only highlighted the importance of the demon realm in the sense of the effect that it would have on the development of the Saiyans themselves. My theory has always been that the Saiyans are a combination of the developmental processes of the Makai and the Kaioshin, or the Majin and the humans, essentially a middle ground between the two evolutionary processes. Now, this may be why Abra decided to close off travel to the old demon realm to begin with. I think it would be very, very ironic if Goma was scared of the Saiyans coming in and, essentially ruining his rule, and that also is what Abra was scared of all those years ago. And that's the reason that he cut off access to the demon realm, was specifically because of the Saiyans. Think about it this way. If you wanted to develop new life, and you were very stubborn about the idea that the Majin had essentially a superior way of developing life, and then these higher dimensional beings get involved, and as a result, you get the Saiyans. And we already kind of see this theme perpetuate all of Dragon Ball Super anyway. It's extremely obvious that Beerus and Whis are yin-yang themed characters. This theme perpetuates the entire series anyway. So it would not be shocking at all, given the fact that we are getting ready to learn about the origins of the Saiyans themselves, that the Saiyans are the result of the merging of ideas between the Majin and the angels, demons and angels coming together to create life, exactly how Sun Wukong was created, using a combination of yin and yang energy, which, as we all know, creates chi. So I think the Saiyans have a much, much bigger role in all this, and I think it's going to be revealed to us soon. My stance has always been that the Saiyans have a demonic nature due to being developed in a similar way to the Majin, not coming from the original demon realms themselves. And due to the fact that the mortal realm was at one point the new demon realm, the Saiyans are still, by technicality, from the demon realm. It's just the new demon realm, the expansion of the demon realm, where they were trying to create and develop and harbor new life. And this is an opportunity for the story to explain exactly what I've been talking about in my theories previously. How the Saiyans are a perfect mix. They are a dualistic being, a dualistic creature by nature. And this is like the perfect way for the series to explain why Goku and the Saiyans start off as these demonic, great ape, destructive figures, and yet they have the potential to become something similar to the angels themselves, because they are essentially the perfect example of a developmental process very similar to what characters like Rymus may have went through himself. This could explain why every time the Grand Priest and Goku have come into contact with one another, Grand Priest is always so fascinated with him, because it's almost as though the Grand Priest knows that the Saiyans originally started off basically no different than the Majin, but have over time spiritually and biologically evolved to be essentially what the angels and Zeno were looking for when they initially made this deal with the Super Majin Rymus to try and develop new life in this new expansion of the demon realm. And I think that that is likely where this is all going to go, but all this stuff with like the origins of everything has got me super, super hyped. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.